Um, hello? This is Ash's Let's Read of G-SEnjou no Maou, or The Devil on G-String. After last episode, Zash is having a bit of a laydown. Well, actually, he's laying curled up in the fetal position and talking about way too many kids. I think the Miwa family was a bit much for him, but hopefully he'll be okay for the next episode. And everything turned out okay with the Miwas. Like, we found the missing child, so everything's cool, right? So he should be okay, right, Zashi? Oh yes, and joining him will be Faith, like always. So, please enjoy this episode. The wind tonight is cold enough to pierce through one's skin. Kidnapping. A crime said to be one of the most despicable. However, which crime isn't despicable? Maou fully understands that the action he's about to take is a sin. His people had already done a background check. He found the answer. The reason Miwa Tsubaki's family won't sell their land has nothing to do with money. That land has been in their family since the First World War. That's a while.
Yeah.
Her father is very stubborn. There was no telling how much time it would take using conventional methods to get him to sell. Even if they did take the time to try, it was doubtful that the result would be a desirable one. This isn't a financial problem. But even so, there's a financial loophole. There are, indeed, many times when money cannot solve matters. Okay, this is making him sound like not Kyosuke. Because Kyosuke would be all in on the money can solve all the problems. Just throw more money at it.
Yosuke isn't quite Maou.
Yeah. Maou must at least admit that. There are emotions, love, family, certain kinds of pride. Things that are more important than money to many. However, even for those exceptions, there's always a way to convert such things to something more fiscal. Mao's plot is to transform this issue from an emotional one into an economical one. That plot took on the shape of a crime in perfect form. After that, the only thing remaining is to see how Usami will respond. He left that place with the faint stride of an evil spirit. Chapter 2. The next day, I went to Dr. Akamoto's clinic. Hey, Kyosuke-kun. Good morning. The counseling room is clean, and Akimoto is smiling like the Buddha, as always. Good morning. I hope that our hour today is fruitful. As do I. You have school today, right? I won't be showing up until this afternoon, though. Now, let us see. What were we talking about in our last session? We were talking about my childhood. I'm surprised that you remember. Oh, I'm sorry. At the end of our last session, I said something about you having a forgetful personality. Is that so? I don't remember, and it doesn't bother me. You don't remember? What about it? I smiled slightly. Surely you aren't implying that I'm suffering from some sort of memory illness? No, relax. You've never forgotten to pay your consultation fee.
Yeah, but that's money.
That's a relief. The doctor is pretty good with words. What I want to ask you about this time, Kyosuke-kun. His pudgy round face closed in slightly. Is your father? You mean Zai Gonzo? Feels like he's talking about someone else. I mean, your real father. Suddenly, my stomach started to ache. He was a trading company employee. Yes? Although he was deep in debt, he always was a wonderful father in my mind. I see. Otherwise, there's nothing much to say. I turned away from Dr. Akimoto. Did he pass away? Gonzo hasn't told you? Gonzo was the one who introduced me to Dr. Akimoto. No. He looked long and hard at me. Anyway, would you mind if we change the subject? I don't want to remember these things. I definitely don't want to remember these things. That is a door I've always locked tightly. Judging from your reaction, I gather that something truly upsetting must have happened. Is that right? Dr. Akimoto, please change the subject. Good Lord. I never once asked for any real therapy sessions from you. I just need a doctor's note so the school will excuse my absence. That's why I cough up the money to uphold these farcical conversations. Kyosuke-kun, even though you don't plan on cooperating with me, I refuse to treat these sessions as a formality. After all, this is my job. He spoke almost as if he could see right through me. Do you understand? This isn't a game, all right? At that moment, a proverb sprang into my mind. You can't judge a book by its cover. There was something important that I was forgetting. That's right. You're an acquaintance of Gonzo, after all. For a moment, I saw the expression of a wild boar in that pudgy face, gazing sharply at me. If there's nothing wrong with you, then please stop making appointments. I'll say it again. This is my job. My time is precious. You can identify with that, can't you? In other words, Dr. Akimoto, you suspect that there might actually be something wrong with me. Akimoto shook his head in a vague manner. He never answered that question. Never mind. We were talking about my biological father. Is that right? May I ask his name? Toshikatsu. I purposely left out his family name. You say he held a position in a trading company? In the Seno Corporation. Haha! That one! Whenever people hear of someone working at Seno, they immediately get the impression of a great and well-educated man. This impression isn't mistaken. So, were you forced to relocate often? Did you ever go overseas? No, not very often. Well, not from what I can remember anyway. I'm pretty sure he was an accountant in the main branch. Really? You're quite different from most normal kids, so I thought you might have grown up overseas. I chuckled and shook my head. All right, given your father's occupation, why would he need to borrow money? I believe he wanted to build his dream house. That was supposed to be a joke. This might just be a preconceived notion, but I don't believe someone working as an accountant for Seno Corporation would rely on consumer loans to build his dream house. Dr. Akimoto is exactly right. And in order to pay for his debt, father had to get his hands on dirty money. He was swindled. Swindled? You know, swindled. Swindled by his trusted friend and ended up becoming his guarantor. Dr. Akimoto gulped when he heard this. Can you stop for a minute? Ellipses. It seems he's figured it out. About your father. An expression of fear and awe spread across his face. Could he be... That's right. Toshikatsu, you said. I was aware that my heart was rapidly becoming cold. Yes. He is that Samijima Toshikatsu. Ellipses. Oh, I guess that gives us a bit more background on Kyosuke.
Yeah. Might also be why he took the kid, too.
Yeah. After that, time seemed to pass in an instant. Dr. Akimoto didn't say a word afterward. He just closed his eyes. After leaving the room, I finally calmed down. I headed for school.
Nissan!
Upon arriving at school, Canon immediately began to pester me. It seemed that she'd been absent from school for a while due to a training camp.
Listen! Everyone, listen! What? What could it be?
She threw her chin up into the air as if to herald her bragging.
Nanchan's gonna be on TV. Wow, amazing.
Whoa, when?
It's gonna be live.
Yeah, when?
And I'll be a special guest.
So, when is it?
It's a program called 24 Hours Live.
Damn it. Listen to me when I say something, you little bitch.
You know, for once, I kind of agree with him.
Hey, not bad. If you're invited to be a guest on that program, then it means you're really made it big.
What will you be doing? Well, I'll be on Central Boulevard. Supposedly I'll be cheering on some marathon runners that night.
Wait, it's late autumn at this point, right?
I don't know.
They keep going on about how they think it's been... Who the hell runs a marathon in late autumn? Okay, like I could see it in like an equatorial country like Spain, southern France, that sort of thing. But it gets cold in Japan in the autumn.
I don't know. I don't know when marathons are normally run, but considering those little skirts, I'm guessing it's not that cold yet.
Yeah, but Tsubaki did go out looking for her little brother in the jacket and the little skirt.
I know. I don't understand how people do that, man. I tell you what, my inner thighs get cold, and probably everything else is going to get cold too. Put on some pants.
That night? And this is going on at night, too.
Oh, God. And Nanchan's going to be waiting where those runners come to rest. And Nanchan's going to give them water. Oh, wow.
If it's not ice.
You're going to be the water girl.
Yep. Is that so? Then a lot of people will show up to see that, won't they? When people gather, money gathers. That's great, Canon.
Nay, Nissan complimented me.
Usami was the next to speak.
I've also been on television.
Huh?
Oh, really?
No, it's an obvious load of bull. I call bullshit! As what? Some gloomy character on a comedy show?
No. As an artist.
An entertainer? A stripper, maybe?
Oh my god. Well, she could do that. I mean, she could be naked and you couldn't see squat through that hair.
Yeah.
Look at all that hair. Just pull a little bit forward. There you go. She's fine. She looks like it.
Yep.
You could call it that.
Which is what a lot of strippers say. So... So, it really was one of those comedy shows?
Well, should we really be talking about me? Avoid the subject.
Aren't you the one who brought it up?
You're funny, Usman. I guess it makes sense that you are a comedian. Everyone's so amazing. I'm the only one not doing anything that stands out, but I'm okay with that. Period.
Lunch break ended on this strange, absurd note. I dashed out of the classroom right as the bell rang. I was weaving my way through the students as I spoke on the phone. Yes, this is Izai Kyosuke. I'm heading over there right now. I need to talk with Seno Corporation's developers. I really don't want to meet with them face to face, but given that the situation still hasn't been settled after all this time, I have to at least apologize in person.
Oh, Ozai-kun.
I heard Tsubaki's voice. I ignored her and continued my phone call. Oh, a bit late? I see. No, it's okay. Looks like I still have some time before the meeting. So, Tsubaki had great timing. Thanks, plot convenience fairy!
Yeah. Azai-kun, can we go out for a bit?
After saying goodbye, I turned off my cell phone and turned toward Tsubaki. It should be okay, if it's only for an hour or so.
Sure.
How about Central Boulevard?
Yeah, sounds good.
She nodded like a little kid.
I wanted to repay you for yesterday.
Yesterday?
For helping me look for Hiroaki, remember?
Ellipses.
What?
Oh, right. That was nothing.
You're acting so weird, Azai-kun.
We headed for Central Boulevard. Central Boulevard is always crowded around dusk. So, how do you plan to repay me?
Well, how about I buy you a classical CD?
Oh, a gift?
What would you like?
Thank you for your gesture, but I already own all the CDs I want.
I should have guessed. You really do love classical music, after all.
A fanatic? Me? Well, I wouldn't go that far. If I called myself a fanatic, it'd offend the true fanatics.
Wait, I didn't even call you a fanatic.
Oh, wait a minute. Perhaps that will be coming out soon.
What will?
A CD by a favorite musician of mine. Although she's taking a break from music, a publishing company is still releasing her CDs. When a company has copyright to the music, even if the musician no longer play, they can still repackage and re-release their works.
What instrument does she play?
The violin.
Oh, the violin.
No, not violin. Violin. It's a V.
Sorry.
Her interpretation of air is my favorite.
By air, you mean?
Air on the G string. It's so moving that it brings tears to my eyes. Recently, I heard it's being used as a requiem. I can see why, too. I wouldn't mind resting in peace if I got to do so to that song.
So, is air on the G string a requiem?
Well, not really, but hey, you remember that big terrorist attack in America a while back? It was used during that.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Anyway, I'm really looking forward to it.
You look really happy.
Yeah.
You look really happy.
Why did you say that twice?
Azai-kun, you immediately brighten up whenever you talk about classical music.
Well, maybe.
Whenever I see you like this, I also feel happier for some reason.
I see. She really can spout some corny things. And so, naturally at that. Anyway, don't bother buying me a CD. Why don't you just treat me to a cup of coffee?
Okay.
You don't have any part-time jobs, do you?
No, I don't.
What about an allowance? I looked at the coffee sitting in front of me. The coffee Tsubaki paid for.
No, my family's not that well off.
So, have you been saving your money?
Yeah, some. I had jobs over New Year's and summer break. I can get by with those.
You don't work during the semester?
Well, I have to go to the kindergarten to pick up my brother, so I don't have time to work after school.
I see. That's why you went home so quickly the other time. I'm pretty sure this is the second time I've had coffee with Tsubaki. Last time, we just chatted for a little bit before parting.
Actually, I need to head down there soon.
To Hiroaki's kindergarten? Tsubaki nodded. I decided to use this opportunity to get some information. Well, you have quite a large family, right?
Yeah, were you surprised?
What about family expenses? Your budget's generally pretty tight, huh?
I'm not sure. It's never been that bad.
I put on a gentle face. You know, I heard something from an acquaintance in real estate.
What?
Your family's land is situated right in the middle of a market hotspot right now. Your folks might as well be sitting on a gold mine.
It does seem that way.
And don't take this the wrong way, but if your dad decided to sell, there are supposedly people willing to pay for your move and the first month's rent in your new house. Tsubaki remained silent. I shouldn't push her too quickly. Sorry, you probably don't want to move, do you?
It's okay. You're just worried about us, right?
Well, the reality is they're backed by Sano. The local government seems to be operating with them in the development of this tourist attraction as well. Things might get hairy if you keep rejecting their offers.
My neighborhood has definitely been changing lately. And neighbors have started to move away one by one.
Well, the term land sharks does sound bad. They're thinking about what's best for everyone. Those moving out as well as those developing.
Yeah. If there was an amusement park near the ski resort, the whole city would be happy.
Although those developing the land benefit far more than those people who are pushed into selling their family land.
So you're saying that, in the big picture, my family's being selfish here?
I wouldn't go that far. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Still, as I couldn't.
Tsubaki's eyes were huge.
I'll abide by Dad's decision.
I could almost feel her passion.
After all, we are family.
Before my eyes were her true intentions, doubtless unwavering and stripped bare.
Dad said that even if we're the only family left, he still won't move. That's how he feels, and I want to support him.
In other words, even if I get Tsubaki on my side, it's to no avail. She'll choose her family over her lover. I see. You and your father are really close, aren't you?
I love him.
Of all the youths fooling around at this time of night on Central Boulevard, how many would say with a serious face that they loved their fathers? You and your dad must share a lot of fond memories or something.
Memories?
You know what I mean. Beautiful stories, maybe? Like, oh, when I was little, I got lost on the mountain and my dad searched for me day and night. That sort of thing. Tsubaki chuckled.
Nothing in particular comes to mind. We're a regular family. We pick apples together every once in a while, and we've been out to eat at a nice restaurant a couple times, but that's about it.
That's it?
Beautiful stories. Well, even without those, I love my dad.
There's always been something I didn't like about Tsubaki, but now I know what it is. She's too perfect. It had irked me when she ran to help Usami. Tsubaki trusts her friends, just because they're her friend. Tsubaki trusts her family, just because they're her family. So someone like me, who doesn't trust anyone, feels uncomfortable. I find myself wondering how someone like that could really exist.
Oh, sorry. I need to get going.
Wow, it's gotten pretty late.
Thanks again for yesterday. I hope we can do this again soon.
The brightness of her smile irritated me somehow. After parting with Tsubaki, I immediately made a phone call. On the other end of the line is the person I was originally supposed to be visiting in person, Sano Corporation's developer. I'm terribly sorry. There was an emergency that I couldn't put off. Yes, I understand. I'll make it happen. Yes. I was in a horrible mood. The daylight hours were very short today. The sky had already turned a shade of violet, and the streets in the Eastern District would soon welcome the night. Dusk is the time of day when people are least on their guard. This might also hold true for children. "Hi, little buddy. How are you?" Maou had prepared a mask, specifically for this occasion, and disguised his voice along with his face. The child showed no suspicion. He walked over to Maou. There was absolutely no one around. The sidewalk was near the park, on a lightly traveled pedestrian path. Overgrown Zelkova trees, unkempt by the city, gave respite from prying eyes. Due to its distance from the center of Tombendbetsu City, few people ever came here. That said, if someone suddenly showed up, he would abort his plan. After all, as he stood there now, Maou looked incredibly conspicuous.
"Oh, it's a horse."
The child showed much interest in Mao's horse mask.
"What is it, Mr. Horse?"
Maou bent to his knees and spoke. "I'm in a bit of trouble. I think I'm lost.
"You're lost?"
Can you help me?" At that moment, the boy showed a bright, innocent smile.
"Sure, I'll help you. One-chan told me once you have to help those in need."
"Oh, really? Then I thank you. Your One-chan is a very wonderful person."
"Where do you want to go?"
"I want to go to the Miwa residence."
"Miwa?"
"Yes. Do you know of it?" The boy's big eyes grew even bigger.
"Shoot, that's my house."
Under his mask, Maou widened his eyes as if he was surprised. "Really? Then can you take me there?"
"Sure."
The boy warms easily to strangers. He hasn't learned yet to distrust others. "I have a car. Would you ride with me?" Maou turned around and pointed to a white sedan he had parked there earlier.
"Even a horse needs a car?"
He tilted his little head skeptically. Surely even a Miwa child at his age has been told not to get into a stranger's car. Maou quickly thought of something. "Mr. Horse has an injury, so he can't walk on his own."
"Huh? Are you okay?"
"If you help me get where I'm going, then I'm sure I'll be fine."
"Got it. I'll do my best."
He immediately ran toward the car. When Maou opened the door, he promptly jumped into the back seat. Maou followed the boy inside and sat beside him. Another man sits in the driver's seat. He's not Japanese. He's a foreign criminal, specifically hired for this particular plan. Even if the police catch him, he'll simply be extradited. That's why these troublemaking foreigners make the perfect accomplices for a crime such as tonight's. Give him money, tell him what he needs to do, and then tell him to go back home. Preparations have already been made for him to stow away somewhere. Because he doesn't know much Japanese, he can't leak the plan by talking too much. The chance that the driver will reveal the identity of Maou to the police is 0. The door closed. Maou continued to inspect the surroundings carefully, to confirm there were no witnesses. The more bungling kidnappers end up getting caught because they didn't take care in this first dangerous step. One cannot underestimate the missing person search capabilities of the police. A top detective will search every nook and cranny, ask every possible eyewitness until he finds a lead. Having a witness to the crime is basically forfeiting the match from the very beginning. He absolutely must not have a single person witness what has occurred here. No pedestrians passed by. There were also no residences around here, so there was no chance someone might have seen it through a nearby window. Maou quickly checked in every direction to make sure everything was clear. Go. With absolute confidence, he gave an order in English. The car quietly moved forward.
Where are we going? My house is that way.
The boy got up in his seat. He put one hand on Mao's knee while pointing out the window. The boy's slender neck was right in front of Mao's eyes. Mao took out a piece of white cloth from his pants pocket. Hey, does this smell like chloroform to you?
Yeah.
He slowly unfolded it until the cloth covered his entire right hand. There was no drug like ether or chloroform on that piece of cloth. Huh. I was wrong. So apparently this does not smell like chloroform.
Well, that is a surprise. But why would he use something as unsophisticated as chloroform? I mean, they can detect that stuff now.
Hiroaki-kun. For the first time, he called the boy by name.
Why does Mr. Horse know my name?
Mao reached out his hand. The boy could not finish his question. Mao aimed for his neck. Specifically, the left and right carotid arteries. With the speed of a spider, his thumb and middle finger pinched down. He didn't want to cause any unnecessary pain. It was only a few seconds until the boy lost consciousness.
Oh, that works too.
Mao had been prepared for incontinence, but the child only foamed a bit at the mouth. After wiping everything clean, the only thing remaining was a 5-year-old boy sleeping peacefully. The purpose of the cloth was to prevent any of the boy's DNA from getting underneath his fingernails. Of course, to be extra certain, he'll take a shower tonight and burn the clothes he wore today. He didn't want to leave even a single strand of hair. This is an absolute precaution against any potential police investigation later on, unlikely as it is for one to occur in the first place. His was a pathological caution, but without such caution, he'd never complete the perfect crime. What a good little boy, he spoke to himself. Night fell. The streetlight shone into the car, helplessly streaming onto the boy's innocent face. 10 o'clock at night. For now, the boy is resting in a condemned building in the suburbs for safekeeping. It was a decrepit hospital. The locals won't go near the place. Even the homeless won't touch the building this time of the year. This knowledge is the result of thorough investigation. No matter how much the boy screams and cries, no one will come. It's a splendid building for kidnappers. Of course, to prevent him from escaping, all the locks must be secured. The door to the boy's room is made so that it cannot be opened from the inside. Inside the room are 3 blankets and plenty of food and water. There's also a heater, set at a comfortable temperature. Though he'll need better care before too long, he can be left alone for now without fear of him dying. Mao entered the next phase of his plan and headed towards the Southern District's residential area. He strolled down the streets of the quiet, affluent area. The goal of a kidnapper is to receive a ransom. Mao knew the basics of his plan. He was now inspecting the locale, making sure there was no holes in his strategy. On the whole, there seemed to be no problems. Feeling satisfied, he started for the nearest subway station. Staying there too long may cause people to find him suspicious. The Southern District is a well-to-do area, so there are bound to be many policemen patrolling the streets. Suddenly, a voice came from the sky.
Ozai-kun.
He instinctively looked up. It came from the top floor of a huge 3-story mansion. Leaning on the rail of her balcony, a young woman stood alone. He looked at the gate's nameplate. Shiratori. This house belonged to the owner of the local development company and the director of Saki.
What are you doing here at this time of night?
Although he couldn't see the girl's expression clearly, her tone showed a transparent hostility and disdain. Mao was forced to quickly make a decision. Should he answer her, or simply ignore her and walk away? After a moment's hesitation, Maou lowered his head and spoke. "You must be mistaking me for someone else." He spoke only those words and walked away.
Hey, wait a minute.
Her voice echoed in the empty streets. It would be problematic if people began to congregate. He quickly left the vicinity of the Shiratori household. Azai. With that name in his ears, Mao's heart sank into a deep darkness. His head throbbed in agony. After getting off the subway and arriving at the business district, he still hadn't found his calm. It felt as though a blizzard had frozen the darkness within his heart. I am not Azai. Unforgivable. Azai Gonzo. He pushed Mother over the edge. He sought out a family deep in debt and made their life a living hell. Totally not Kyosuke. Many times Maou has told himself, I am Samajima Toshikatsu's son. That's Kyosuke's father.
Yeah, it is. Mixed signals.
He felt the pressing desire to kill a certain someone who bore the name Azai. The pedestrians who approached Maou quickly moved out of his way, unable to meet his gaze. He remembers his father. He remembers the father whose name, Samajima Toshikatsu, would raise the eyebrows of anyone who heard it. Maou once swore before his father to wash away the humiliation forced on him. Maou is willing to drench his hands in blood to fulfill this oath. He will not allow anyone to stop him. Not the police, not the Yakuza, not that one hero. None of them will stand in his way. I won't be found by the likes of them. He's no longer that weak child. Now he has true power. Now he has money. The proof? No one had noticed. Still, no one knows that I am Maou. I gazed upon the night sky. The time for battle has come. I reached out for the sky. Higher and higher. 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 As if wishing to clutch and shatter the moon. Dramatic ellipses? The pain in my skull still hasn't subsided. It's as if I have another being inside me. A being that's trying to interfere with my movements. Nevertheless, I have ways to ease this headache. I plan my revenge. Battle. Capture. Win. These thoughts quickly brighten my mood. At the moment, my primary objective is to see this kidnapping through to a successful conclusion. This is a perfect plan. It is so flawless that you can call the failsafe measures redundant. The only thing left is to boldly execute the plan without hesitation. I immediately dialed the number on the phone. It's already midnight. It wouldn't be strange for a normal family to be asleep at this time. After 3 rings, someone quietly picked up the phone.
Yes, this is the Maou family.
I could tell from her voice that she wasn't in her normal state of mind.
Hello? Hello? Who is this?
Obviously, the reason for Tsubaki's nervousness stemmed from the fact that her brother still hadn't come home yet. She might be crying. I just dragged an innocent family into the depths of hell. Is that not truly the role of the devil? As Tsubaki was on the verge of a nervous breakdown, I chose the right tone before I slowly began.
boy is in my hands. If you don't want him to die, follow my instructions. Although, it's rather cliché. Do not contact the police.
Why would they let their daughter answer the phone, though?
She might be the only one who's...
Maybe they're looking, though.
Yeah, they might be looking. She might be the only one coherent. Ellipses. Megalipses. It's morning already? I wasn't getting anything done last night because of my splitting headache, so I went straight to bed and slept until now. Well, it was a good night's sleep. For the first time in a while, I soaked in a nice, rejuvenating bath, washed the laundry that had piled up, and did other everyday chores I hardly ever do. What a refreshing morning. All those muddled thoughts have completely disappeared. And to think, Dr. Akimoto says I have a psychological disorder. How ridiculous.
Uh-huh.
I'll go to school today.
Morning, Nissan.
Oh. Oh, Cannon, what's up? Did you come to pick me up?
Yep. Let's go to school together.
Yeah, sure. Sounds great.
Okay.
She came half a step closer. I took half a step back. No,
Personal bubbles.
what?
You're in a good mood, Nissan.
Because a good plan is coming together, and I just love that.
Yeah. Just as planned.
Maybe.
Why? Tell me.
Who knows? Because it seems I'll be able to cap off all the unfinished work soon. I finally made some headway in the purchase of the Eastern District's properties. Wait. Huh? Wait a minute. What headway? I've made no significant progress in that regard.
What's up? Something on your mind?
I've gotten close to Tsubaki. I've even met her family, but I've hit a wall. I don't know where to go from here. Then again, I've infiltrated the family at least. I guess you could call that headway.
Totally different person.
Yep.
Wait, why are you all gloomy all of a sudden?
Oh, sorry. I'm just not awake yet. We started walking together side by side.
Nissan, can we hold hands?
Are you an idiot? People would get the wrong idea.
What wrong idea?
Come on. I don't think people would respond well to the idea of a brother and sister dating.
You don't need to be dating to hold hands, silly. When I was in Canada, I shook lots of people's hands.
But this is Japan. Kennen kept sticking to me like glue.
By the way, Nissan,
What? Why the long face?
you and Baki have been getting real close lately, haven't you?
We just hung out a couple of times.
It's obvious that Baki likes you, Nissan.
Wait, she does? When did that happen?
At her first appearance, approximately.
Huh? Still, what she says is true. I'm not really interested in her.
Oh, that's so cold. I feel so sorry for Baki.
It's not like she confessed to me or anything. Why should I worry about it?
So cold, so cold. Baki is a good girl, you know?
She is indeed a responsible person.
That's right, and she always stays for cleanup duty.
Oh, come on. Everyone else just forces it on her.
I don't know anything about that, but she's always smiling as she does it. Wouldn't that mean that maybe it's not being forced on her?
Wrong, sis. Someone like Tsubaki would smile even when forced to take care of someone else's responsibilities. Oh yeah, what about that thing about being on TV?
Oh, even my forgetful brother remembered that?
Wait, who are you? When is it? I wouldn't want to miss it if I've got some time around then.
The day after tomorrow.
Huh? Seriously? So soon?
I think they invited me a long time ago. I just forgot about it.
And you're complaining about Kyosuke's memory. Now, probably they called her people scheduled it, and then said, oh, hey, you're doing this next week.
Yeah, that is entirely possible.
That's probably what happened. Hey, don't be such an airhead. The TV station has enough trouble as it is.
But the big shots at the skating arena decided this without me.
So you don't want to do it?
No, I totally do. This'll make me popular.
What an innocent girl. No. Tsubaki is an innocent girl.
Yeah.
Canon is a bitch who destroyed our CD.
Yeah. She's spoiled.
I'll need to make more money so that she can stay innocent like this. After all, Canon was only able to get into an expensive sport like figure skating because she had money.